The Big Bang Theory's canon was drastically altered in young Sheldon's fourth episode of season 7. And this shift renders George Sr.'s death all the more tragic. It was tragic enough that young Sheldon's George Sr. died in season 7, but the largest retcon ever, the Big Bang Theory spin-off, only served to heighten the misery. Young Sheldon occasionally deviates from the canon of its predecessor, as is typical of any spin-off. Most of the time, though, the show's revisions to the Big Bang Theory's history are minor at most. Mary, who lost her husband abruptly when Sheldon and Missy were small, may have become more bitter and nasty in the earlier episode. It's also easy to see why Mima changed her personality. But when it comes to discrepancies with canon, one prominent character from young Sheldon stands out among the rest. George Sr., played by Lance Barber, is a complete departure from the original show's Sheldon and Mary's descriptions of him. Sheldon falsely accused his father of being an infidelity, shiftlessness, and incurious drunk in an episode of The Big Bang Theory. The 6 seasons of young Sheldon, however, demonstrated that George Sr. was, in fact, an admirable father who was innocent of the accusations leveled against him. When this spin-off finally clarified Sheldon's accusations of infidelity in season 7, episode 4, Ants on a Log and a Cheating Winker, this situation became much more problematic. This much-anticipated excursion finally gave young Sheldon the opportunity to show that George Sr. was innocent of adultery against Mary and that Sheldon had simply misinterpreted events. With a wig and a costume in tow, Mary came back from Germany ready to play dress-up with her husband. Without ever confronting either parent, Sheldon silently thought his father was unfaithful to his mother after he walked in on them. This clarifies that George Sr. never cheated on Mary, although his son George Jr. believed otherwise. The fact that George Sr.'s impending death is confirmed in the canon of The Big Bang Theory only adds insult to injury. Given that Sheldon revealed his father's age of death in an episode of The Big Bang Theory, the demise of George Sr. has been a foregone conclusion ever since the 6th season finale of young Sheldon. The fact that George Sr. did nothing wrong and never got the chance to explain himself to Sheldon before he passed away is incredibly devastating, adding to the already sorrowful nature of the situation. Despite the episode's best efforts to portray the incident as a humorous misunderstanding, it greatly affected Sheldon and unfairly tarnished George Sr.'s reputation. The impending death is thus much more difficult to face in light of this. It has been obvious from the start of young Sheldon that the faithful, patient, and well-intentioned George Sr. would not cheat on his wife. The show was never dark enough to support a cheating plot, even though seasons 5 and 6 built it up as a red herring through George Sr.'s friendship with his neighbor Brenda. The irony is that Ants on a Log and a Cheating Winker and the rest of season 7 of young Sheldon did indeed make George Sr.'s death sadder by making him such a nice character. At this point, young Sheldon, George Sr.